Hi everyone, I'm Kay Kalthoff and welcome to a Stamping to Share video. Well, it's that time of year where everyone starts thinking about making some masculine cards. June will be around the corner here in just a bit, although looking out my window at about 2 feet of snow, I'm starting to wonder if it's ever going to get here in Minnesota. But I know with patience that will happen. So I'm just going to dream about it today, and we're going to make a card that features dragonflies and lakes and everything that's Minnesota. So this is the card we're going to create, and I'm excited to share with you how to do it. Now there's no stamping on this card, so it's just with the Big Shot and with some beautiful papers. So let's go ahead and get started. Here's a close-up of the card, and I'd like to show you this before we get going, just so that I can point out this gorgeous little clip. It's one of the eclectic clips from Stampin' Up. These are little paper clips that you can purchase in our embellishment section. So you get a leaf, a triangle, or a little banner shape. And I've used these throughout the year. I've really enjoyed them. They're so much fun. But unfortunately, they are retiring with this new catalog that's going to be coming out. So your only chance to get them is right now, and it's while supplies last. So I did want to point that out. And just look how awesome this little green clip looks on this beautiful piece of ribbon here that's called Night of Navy corduroy ribbon, which also is not going to be carried over into the new catalog. This is from our Occasions 2018 catalog. But let's go ahead and get started making this card. So the first thing that we're going to need is some Night of Navy paper. It's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Just gonna pull off this little tag here. We'll give this a nice fold. And unfortunately, my bone folder is not handy, so it's be a little bit poppy for us, but we'll work with it. The next thing we're going to do is take a piece of Bermuda Bay paper that is cut to 4 by 5 1/4, and this is something we're going to run through the Big Shot machine using the ruffled embossing folder, which I've done right here. Now this is a super thick embossing folder, so when you run it through the Big Shot machine, you're only going to use one cut plate over the top. So it looks like this when it comes out, and it's supposed to look a little bit like you know, like you'd see a pleated dress or drapery. However, and that's what it looks like on this side. However, I found if you turn it upside down like this, you get something that looks a little bit like water. And I love that look, sort of like waves. And so that's the side we're going to use, the wave looking side. So then let's go ahead and add our next layer, which is going to be the Eastern Palace Designer Series paper. So the Eastern Palace Designer Series paper, and as you know, most of our Designer Series paper is only available for the catalog period that it comes out in, will also be discontinued. So it's got this lovely gold and white finish here on this one, and then it has another one which is gold and sort of this dapper denim color. And it's got the gold stripe. Now I use this a lot for Christmas, but I've also used it for other parts of the year. So we're going to use the one with the little dots. And it kind of is reminiscent of peacock feathers, I think, which is, and then also all of these designs sort of look a little bit Eastern. So that's why it's called Eastern Palace Designer Series paper. So we're going to take that paper and we're going to run it through the Big Shot machine, and let me show you the setup that I used. I have my magnetic platform, and then I took my cut plate and I used the largest of the scallop circles. So this is the Layering Circles Framelits, and again I took the largest scallop circle, and that's what I put onto the paper, ran it through the Big Shot machine with of course a cut plate over the top, and this is what we get. So you can remove this, take this out, and this is what we'll be using. And this is what is going to go right here onto this Designer Series paper. So let's go ahead and grab some multi-purpose liquid glue, and we're just going to put a line of glue all the way around on the outside edge, and then we can flip this around and put this right here onto that ruffled embossed paper that's Bermuda Bay. So love these colors together, and I think the Bermuda Bay just really makes it pop. And before we flip it around and glue it down, I think we should add our embellishment piece here. So we're going to do that with some of this Night of Navy corduroy ribbon. So I'm just going to cut it a little bit bigger than it needs to be, and then we can trim it flush with the edge. So for now, we'll just leave it like this. And what I like to do is I'm going to attach this clip so that we know about where it's going to go. And then I can add some adhesive to the back. So I'm going to flip this over now, and I'm going to add my snail adhesive. Snail adhesive is really great for keeping this all nice and attached to our paper. All right, so now we're going to take this piece and we are just going to set this right here onto our panel of paper. So when you feel like you have that in a good spot and you're satisfied with it, just give it a good press. Then you can kind of arrange that clip to be about where you want it, and I think it looks really good right there. Then you can just flip it over and you're going to trim this ribbon even with the edge. And now we're at the point where we can go ahead and glue this down to our panel of Night of Navy. So we'll just flip that over, again add some multi-purpose liquid glue to the back, and we'll just set this in right like so. Just kind of wiggle that into place, and that looks good. Now for the inside panel, we're going to take a piece of the Whisper White paper cut to 4 by 5 1/4. And then we have a 3/4 by 4 inch piece of the same designer series paper that coordinates with the outside here. We're going to set this right here on the inside. And we're going to, again, put that down with a little bit of snail. We'll set this in, pull off my measurement panel here. And now all we have left is the dragonflies. The dragonflies were also cut with the magnetic platform. Again, I put my cut plate down. I have a piece of Whisper White scrap. Then my dragonflies, which come from the detailed Dragonfly Thinlits. And then, of course, I put my cut plate again over the top and ran it through the Big Shot machine. The next thing I did was I just removed all of those little pieces, and then I took one of our mini dimensionals and put it right here on the body of the dragonfly, and it's ready right now to go onto my card. So I can just set this in exactly like this, and our card is complete, and it's so cute. I just love it. So here's the one I just did, and here's the one I had done in advance. Now, for those of you that watch my videos regularly, you might recognize this design. I actually created a couple of cards a month back or so that look like this, where I was using the beautiful peacock celebration, and then I took the cutout from here and put it over here and put the dragonflies on. Now on this one, I had used a little embellishment from the Petals and More embellishment suite, and I went ahead and thought, you know what, that looks just a little bit more feminine than I would like for a masculine card. So since I had quite a few of these cutouts left from the event that I did, I thought, you know what, I'm going to come up with a little bit different look. And so here we have this beautiful peacock card, and then I just kind of revamped it to turn it into this dragonfly card. And you can see how all three of these cards have some similarities. And so I can make more of these just using the circle cutout, which we have an extra of. And then I can also make more masculine looking cards here with the dragonfly, adding the leaf paper clip. And so I just love both of these options and thought I would share with you exactly how I came about this process. I also used these cards as my swap at On Stage in Milwaukee a couple of weeks ago, and they were very well received. So I thought I needed to get this online to show you all how I did this. It was lots of fun, and hope you've enjoyed this tutorial too. If you'd like to place a product order, please visit my blog at www.stampingtoshare.com. I truly appreciate you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.